Okay, how's that? Hopefully you can hear me now. There was me happily talking to myself, unaware for a minute that you had no idea what I was saying. Maybe you dodged a bullet there. Okay, I'm just going to wait until I've... Yes, great. Okay, Michael is quick off the mark. Shout if I'm not loud enough. Maybe I'll just turn myself up just a little bit. How's that? Okay, great. Well, here I am. I was just saying how much of a pleasure it's been to be able to work on this piece so much with you all. And thank you to everyone who came to the rehearsal the other day. It was really, really good to kind of get back under the skin of it, because it's not a piece really that you can just kind of pick up and put down every now and again. You really need to live with it, and that's what we've been able to do. That's what's so nice about this way of doing it, is that you can really kind of get as much out of it as you want to and spend as much time with it as you need to. You're not constrained by a normal rehearsal length or whatever. So thank you, and I am just so excited for Saturday. I can't believe that it's just 2 days' time, it's this weekend, that we're actually going to perform this piece. You would think that pieces on this scale would just be a thing of the past at this point, but we are living proof that they are very much still a thing of the present, and I think we're going to show everybody that on Saturday, that this piece can be experienced in at least as real a way as you would in normal times, and if anything in a more direct, more intimate way, as I hope you'll kind of experience on Saturday. It should be really quite an amazing experience. I should say, and I'll say this again in a second, but do stick around in an hour's time. When we finish this rehearsal, we've got a bit of an exciting announcement to make about some projects next year. So at my time, we start in 10 minutes at 2 o'clock, and then at 3 o'clock, I'll let you in on the exciting news about that. So do stick around. So what we're going to do today is just go over a few gentle corners. Like I say, I think it's important not to kind of over-rehearse a piece like this as you get close to the performance, because you can easily run out of steam, and also you don't want to lose that kind of sense of event and specialness that you want to save for the real thing. So we're just going to cover a few kind of important things to remember, helpful reminders about how to kind of navigate your way around the piece and how to get the most out of it. So we'll just kind of go through gently, bit by bit, reminding ourselves how it all goes. And then, most exciting of all, we're going to sing the whole of your choral bit, the kind of climax of this whole symphony, together, with me conducting and with the full backing track, so with the whole orchestra, with our two soloists, and with your voices as well. So you get to sing along with yourself and with each other, and you get to hear each other back, which I think will be a really, really special experience. And it's just a kind of a way of preparing ourselves for Saturday. I thought it would be nice to take tomorrow off, just to kind of sit on it a bit, and kind of digest it, and then Saturday we can really kind of get into the real stuff. And again, we thought it would be nice if you can have the opportunity just to sit back and relax and enjoy and watch and listen to all your hard work on Saturday for the first kind of premiere performance. So you can get your popcorn and get a comfy seat for that first performance, and you'll watch the whole fifth movement of this piece. And then afterwards, we've got a special sing together performance where we'll sing the choral bit at the end together as a choir, as a kind of culmination of all our hard work that we put into this. So it should be quite a day on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to it. It's at 7:30 UK time in the evening. And there's a little short film that we've put together to go at the beginning of it, just a 5-minute long film with me and Marina, Mahler and Mark talking about Mahler, talking about how important this music is for our lives now, how we did this specific project, the amazing kind of magic that Mark has managed to conjure up with technology to make this possible, and lots of beautiful shots of the landscape in the Alps and the places in the Alps where Mahler wrote his music, with Marina talking very personally and very beautifully about how much that bit of the world meant to Mahler when he was writing this music. So I'm really looking forward to that little film to begin with, and then we have the performance, and then it should be around 8:15 in the evening, about 45 minutes later or so. We'll then do our little sing-along, which will just be quite a way to go out with a bang, as they say, because not many pieces go out with a bang quite as much as this one does. Well, great. So many of you tuning in. That's absolutely fantastic. It really was. After rehearsing in this way and kind of seeing you there in the chat and knowing that you were there singing with me, it was really very special to be sent all of your recordings and all those lovely photos you sent as well. It really kind of brought the whole thing to life for me, because this is real. This is real music making. It's real music, and you are a real choir and a really special one. I think we're gonna see that very clearly on Saturday. Great. Hello everyone. I'm actually it's been quite a busy week. I'm moving house this week, so it's been a strange combination of kind of working on this Mahler and putting things in boxes at the same time, and wondering where all my stuff's going to fit in the new place. But thankfully, it's been a beautiful sunny few days here in Oxfordshire. I don't know about where you are, but we seem to be getting one last blast of kind of autumn sunshine. Quite chilly, but very beautiful. That wonderful kind of horizontal light you get in autumn when it kind of lights up all the amazing orange and red colours. Great. Okay, so we'll give it 5 more minutes, and then we'll do our usual kind of round of warm-ups. I'm going to make sure that we really... I'm going to go over the text very clearly in this last rehearsal as well. I think it's really important that now that you know the music really well, you can sing it even though it's in German, even though it's in a foreign language for the majority of you. It's nice to sing it knowing what the words mean as you sing them. So I'm going to just do kind of one last kind of run over what the words mean, so you can really sing it like you mean it, because I think it's really important. I think Mahler meant it to be sung like that. You know, he wrote it in German because that was his language, and that was the most direct way of understanding this music, was to have it in his own language. And he actually wrote, I think I've said this before, he wrote most of the text for this finale. He kind of took the beginning from Klopstock, who was a famous German poet, and then kind of went with it and kind of wrote the poem to finish off this piece. They're very, very special words indeed. Yeah, sadly I haven't got room for my nice Steinway piano in my new place, so I'm downgrading for a bit to something a little bit smaller. But there we go, you can't have everything all the time. Great. Hello everybody. Hello Glennis. Hello Pam. Pam says sunny but cold. That's exactly what it is. Hello Michael. Sudi can relate to my moving woes. Yeah, it could be worse moving house. Thankfully I don't have a huge amount of stuff. But quite a lot of scores. I have to say, I have nearly 1,000 scores, and actually I spent quite a lot of the lockdown time cataloguing my scores into a great big spreadsheet, because I've got so many now that I tend to sometimes forget whether I own something or not, and then I'm sometimes in a music shop and I think, oh, I probably need a copy of that score, and then I come home and I find I've got 3 of them already. So I've now got a lovely spreadsheet that tells me what I own. Occupational hazard of being a conductor is you have stacks and stacks of scores everywhere, as I would show you if you could see under my piano. I wish I could say it was tidy here, but it's not. Great. Okay. Well, just take a minute to kind of grab yourself maybe a glass of water, or a nice comfy seat to be sitting in. But make sure you've got your feet flat on the floor as usual, so you're kind of supporting your back through your legs. It's really important that for when you're singing, that your kind of torso is nice and secure. Make sure you've got plenty of space around you. It's really important that you don't feel kind of physically constricted when you're singing, especially when you're singing a piece like this. And like I say, for those of us who are joining us at the last minute, stick around at the end of this rehearsal in an hour's time, because we've got a really, really exciting announcement about 3 projects that we're going to be doing next year that I think you are going to be raring to join in on. Really, I mean, if you think this Mahler 2 is something, then you've got something else coming next year. It's going to be quite a year. Okay, So make sure you're sitting comfortably, and let's just do a couple of our kind of favourite lip trilling warm-ups. A really good thing that Mark reminded me of is, if you can, particularly for the performance and for today's dress rehearsal, make sure that you've got some headphones if you can, ideally kind of high quality ones. I use these lovely kind of wireless things which kind of hug your ears, but it makes a huge difference to how you hear the music compared to maybe a computer speaker or something. And especially, I think, for this way of singing with each other through technology, it really makes you feel really close to the other musicians if they're right in your ears. It really helps the atmosphere. So if you've got headphones, borrow, beg, steal, anything, get hold of a pair. If not for today, then for Saturday. Okay, so warm-ups then. Let's warm up our lips, warm up our vocal cords, just kind of doodling around lip trills. Just sort of start in the middle of your register and then work down, explore away down there. It's a really gentle way, but really effective way of getting your registers all kind of warmed up. And then going a bit higher. Great. And you should always feel your tummy muscles really engaged when you do that, and probably your nose tickling as well. I have no idea why it does that, but it does. Added bonus of lip trills. Okay, let's try doing those to some actual notes now. Just the usual kind of open fifths. Very good. If you have trouble with it, the really important thing is that your lips are really quite tight when you're doing this. You kind of want to create a seal. I can't really do it while I'm talking, but like that. And then you push the air through. If your lips are too loose, you won't get the trill going. So nice tight lips. And that's why it's so good as a singing warm-up, this. Because you've got to force the air through with quite a lot of pressure, you have to use your tummy muscles to do it. You can't just kind of you can't just kind of coast. So nice tight lips, like that. Okay, let's just do it to ah now. We'll do a couple of vowels. Ah, like that. Ah, maybe I'll just turn my microphone down. The piano's too loud. Now E. Great, yeah. Easy for E to be quite a narrow vowel, but really you want loads of space. E at the back there. Where were we? E going up. E. Now O. Very good. Great. Okay, let's try a couple of Bella Signoras. Bella Signora. Maybe let's try going down for those of us in the lower registers. Bella Signora. Bella Signora. Bella Signora. One more. Bella Signora. Very good. Because, like I said last time, because it's the whole choir this time, If I'm singing in the wrong register for you, just jump up or down an octave to make sure it's in the comfortable zone for you. Okay, so let's do a couple of those going up, and really kind of rich, wide vowels and nice kind of strong consonants. Bella signora, bella signora, bella signora. Very good. Okay, and just one more for luck. Let's do our favourite Popper Caterpillar one. So, let's start on B flat, Popper Caterpillar. So, nice and slowly to begin with. I say. Popper Caterpillar, 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 Pop. Maybe a little bit slower than that, so we can really enunciate. Popper Caterpillar, 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 Pop. Very good. A bit faster. Popper Caterpillar, 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 Pop. Popper Caterpillar, 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 Pop. Very good. Okay, maybe you'll be glad to see the back of that one. Okay, so let's just have a kind of gentle stroll through this piece. Starting from the beginning, just working through one section at a time, not sort of too much singing through, because like I said, I think we need to save ourselves for the real thing. Okay, so at the beginning, these are your notes. And just a reminder about the words here. Auferstehen. Auf means up in German, so literally rise up, rise again. Ja, auferstehen. Yes, rise again. Wirst du mein Staub, will you my dust. Nach kurzer Ruhe, after a short rest. That's our first kind of whispered promise at the beginning of this piece. You will rise again after a short rest. Unsterblich leben. Maybe let's say that together, all together. Unsterblich leben. Yeah, really soft lich. It's not a ch, it's a h. It's very similar to an h, really. Unsterblich leben. Nice bright leben. Eternal life. Really magical words. Unsterblich leben wird der dich rief, dir geben. Let's say that together as well, from wird der. Wird der dich rief, dir geben. Beautiful. Yeah, so a little rolled R on a rief. And this means, unsterblich leben, eternal life, will he who called you give to you. Der dich rief, dir geben. Beautiful words. So let's just have a little look at it. And don't worry about singing triple P this time round. Just sing it at a really comfortable middle dynamic just to warm yourselves up. It's hard to go straight in, really soft. So 3 and 4 and. Hold on to it. 3, 4. That's it. And hum the end. You all did that so beautifully in the recordings. It was really such a joy to hear that. Stehen. Just hold on to the note. And like I said last time, as well as holding the note in the last consonant, if you've got a voiced consonant at the beginning of a word, ja, like a J in German, you can get the note going in that as well. Ja. So you really prepare the vowel with that. Great. Okay, let's keep going. From the beginning. 2, 3, 4. Auferstehen. Gorgeous. Always important to remember, staggering your breathing. It's the opposite to when you normally breathe when you're singing on your own. Staggering means you take a breath in the middle of a vowel, not the end of a word or the end of a syllable, but right in the middle, so you can kind of jump out and then sneak back in. The last thing you want to do is go, I'll verstehen, because I can guarantee that lots of other people might do that as well. So instead, I'll verstehen. So just duck out, take a breath, rejoin. That's the wonderful thing about being in a huge choir, is that there's always going to be someone covering you if you do it in a kind of slightly counterintuitive place. Super. Okay, let's go from Wirst du mein Staub. And remember here, we all breathe at that little red comma after Staub. Wirst du mein Staub nach kurzer Ruhe. And a nice rolled R on Ruhe. Ooh. Okay, so wirst du mein Staub. And you'll see it says rit, ritardando above wirst. So we just hold the tempo here and then go. Great. Okay, so this is the end of bar 4 of figure 31. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and wirst du mein Staub. Breathe. Nach kurzer Ruhe. Off. Great. Ooh, am I a bit soft? Should I turn myself up? How's that? How's that? Okay. How's that? Sometimes it's a tricky balance between the piano being too loud and me being too soft. Great. It's a wonderful moment, that, on Ruhe. And the nice thing is that we often move at different times. Amazing chord. So just know who you move with, and then listen when someone else moves at a different time. And you can just kind of relish that amazing kind of slow-moving harmony. Gorgeous. Okay, unsterblich leben. We're really good at pronouncing that. And tuning here, quite tricky, because we're still in G flat major, and then we have this amazing shift to E major. Long way away, relatively speaking. So just be ready for that. Great. So let's go from unsterblich leben, 2 before 32. 1 and 2 and unsterblich ich leben. Great, well done. And I know that I'll do those kind of 4 beats pulsing there on Leben. But really, those are a way of us just keeping in the right place. But the effect is that time just stops. Because, of course, the words are eternal life. So suddenly we just have that little shift into eternity. So you can just enjoy that moment and feel like time has stopped. You won't hear a pulse clicking when you sing along with yourselves with the orchestra track. Really important to remember that. But you will have me conducting, so you'll lose the pulsing quavers, but you'll gain me conducting. And the jury's out, which is more useful, really. But there we go. Let's go from 32 then, where we've kind of said unsterblich leben, eternal life, and then we kind of explore that idea. And again, we reach this total standstill. So, 32. 4 and 1 and unsterblich leben wird der dich rief, dich off. Great. Well done. It's always a tricky corner, that sort of deceptively difficult. Sometimes singing slowly is more difficult than singing fast. Great. Remember, sopranos and altos, after that second Leben, after the third bar of 32, you've got to kind of snatch a breath there. Leben wird der. You really lead the charge there. And you'll hear, this is the glorious moment in the recording where the soprano solo, Dima, who just sings so beautifully, gently starts to emerge from this texture. So up until now, she's been singing kind of imperceptibly. She's just one of the chorus. And then, it's a huge fly. And then at this moment, she just materializes out of nowhere. And her voice, like kind of, it's a golden quality that it has, kind of grows out of the texture. It's a really wonderful moment. So when you're singing this with her, just listen out for that moment in the third of 32. Great. Okay. I don't think there's anything else really that we need to do there. Just hang on in there. Sopranos is a tricky corner 2 before 33. Geben. Kind of slightly spacey sounding notes. Just make sure you're ready to go from the E flat down to the C flat, and then down to the D flat. Worth remembering. Great, well done. Okay, so moving on, let's look at figure 35. And the words here, wieder aufzublühen, to bloom again. And there's kind of a nice innate kind of musical poetry here, because he's saying you will bloom again, and in doing so he uses the same music that we had before. Auferstehen, wieder aufzublühen. You see, they're the same. So there's this kind of real sense of eternity that I think he spells out so beautifully in the music. And then next, wirst du gesät, which means were you sown? So you will bloom again. In order to bloom again, you were sown. It's that kind of thing that German does, where it's the other way around. You were sown in order to bloom again. That's how we say it in English. Wieder aufzublühen wirst du gesät. And then we say, der Herr der Ernte, the Lord of the harvest. And again, we have this wonderful harmonic shift. Der Herr der Ernte, the Lord of the harvest, geht, goes, and gathers up, and sammelt, gaben uns ein, us together like sheaves of corn, who have died. Wonderful words. Okay, let's have a little go then. Wieder aufzublühen, this is figure 35, so just lower voices to begin with. And then the rest of us come in a couple of bars' time. 2 and wieder aufzublühen. Off. Great, well done. So just gently place that T after 4 beats. Z. Okay, let's go once again from 35, and then upper voices we join in the 6th bar. 2 and wieder oft so blue. 3 and breathe. Wirst du gazet 2, 3, 4 T and wieder oft so blue. Off. Wirst du T. One and der Herr der ernt again. 1, 2, 3 T. Und sammelt Garben uns ein. Breathe and two and 3 and 1 and 2 and off. Great, well done. Yeah, really good. And like I say, you won't have the piano pulsing when you sing along this time with the orchestra and on Saturday, but you will have me conducting, so I hope that means it'll still be clear where you move, particularly in that big triplet bar. And just a thing to note with the sopranos, 5, 2, 8 and 5, 2, 9, we place our T on the downbeat of that 3, 4 bar, very, very gently. Everyone else places it a little bit later on the 4th beat of the 2nd bar. So just be really precise about where you put your consonant there. Beautiful. Yeah, it's a really glorious moment, that big triplet bar. So dreamy, you know, because it's still all a dream at this point, and only later on does it become reality, so kind of blazingly. Gorgeous. Okay, like I say, I'm not going to overdo it because we want to sing the whole thing through later, and we want to sing the whole thing through on Saturday. And there are really only so many times you can sing all of Mahler 2 in 1 week. Okay, so next bit, you'll hear in a minute when we sing this through with the backing track, you'll hear this glorious passage at 39, etc., where the alto sings a solo, and then the soprano answers at 41. It's actually misprinted in this score. In bar 602, figure 41, that's actually the soprano solo. They kind of sing to each other, these two soloists, in a rather wonderful way. So just sit back and enjoy that. And the thing to listen out for is the violin solo in 612. So lower voices, that's your cue to kind of get ready. I will be here conducting you, so don't panic. But that's the thing to listen out for, because the whole idea of the conductor is not to kind of tell you where something is, but to confirm that you know it. You know, so we kind of look at each other and say, this is where we are, isn't it? So listen out for the violin solo after that wonderful solo from the soprano. And here we have Was entstand at 42. And we place that S and T in was and ent really rhythmically. Was entstand. So it sounds really mysterious, really kind of otherworldly. It's a really special effect here, moving in parallel octaves. So we've got the first bass on an F, and the tenors and the second basses go. So altogether, it sounds very eerie, very solemn, and then same again. And then here, altos, 621, vorwärts, Mahler writes, forwards. Was vergang, really mighty. And the sopranos join in, bang, 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 really punchy on every single note there. It's such a kind of sudden appearance of kind of stridency. It's like, we can do this. This isn't just a dream anymore. This is real. Okay, so let's have a go. I'm going to play you from the violin solo. This is 6 before 42. 1 and 2 and was entstanden ist, das muss vergehen. And was vergangen, auferstehen. Great, well done. A really heavy N at the end of stehen. So it's not quite this, we still hum it, but in a kind of heavier way. So before we were auferstehen, but now auferstehen. Give it a bit of weight at the end of the word. Because the words here, was entstanden ist, what came into being, das muss vergehen, that must perish. Wonderful palindromic phrase. Was vergangen, auferstehen. What is bygone, what is dead, will rise again. Amazing words. Good stuff. And remember, in German, a W is a V and a V is a F. A little bit confusing, but was entstanden ist, das muss vergehen. Slightly tricky bit of pronunciation. And then zurückhaltend, as Anna has just pointed out, amazing German word. It just means held back. So the brass then kind of echo you. So let's try this once more from the violin solo. One and two and was entstanden ist, das muss vergehen. Altos, was vergangen, sopranos, auferstehen. Well done. Nice N at the end. Really low brass here. Yeah, that scrunch. And like I've said a few times before, that's our first vision of E flat major, which we get at the very end. Got a little vision of heaven. Okay, and then 43. Hör auf zu beben. Cease your trembling. Because it is enough to make you tremble this moment before. You know, you kind of might be. So you say, hör auf zu beben. Cease your trembling. Bereite dich zu leben. Prepare yourself. Such an epic moment that for the tenors and basses. Wow. And then a gorgeous moment when we answer it. bereite dich zu leben. Prepare yourself to live, literally. And again, another glorious moment this to listen out for when we sing it through in a minute. The soprano solo again is kind of inside the choir in the third of 43, hör auf zu beben, but then bereite dich zu leben. She sort of rises up out of the mist. Zart hervortretend, which means sort of tenderly prominent. Somehow sounds more poetic in German. Great. Okay, let's try this at 43 then. Tenors, first tenors, second tenors, basses, and then we have these wonderful low notes in the basses. 3 and 4 and hör auf zu beben and hör auf zu beben. 2, 3, 4, hum the end. 2, 3. Bereite dich and bereite dich zu leben. Good stuff. And another moment here where you can just sit back and enjoy this amazing duet between the soprano and the alto. Mahler writes mit Aufschwung, literally upswing, which really is the only word for this. It really just has so much sweep. That's the word we'd use in English. And they sing O Schmerz, du Alldurchdringer. This in English means, O pain, you piercer of all things, from you have I been wrested. So I'm free from pain now. O death, O Tod, O death, you conqueror of all things, now you are conquered. And then they sing the words that you're about to sing, mit Flügeln, die ich mir errungen, with wings which I have won for myself. In Liebesstreben werde ich entschweben zum Licht. In love's fierce striving, I will soar upwards to the light which no eye has penetrated. Zum Licht, zu dem kein Auge gedrungen. And that's their kind of intro for you and your entries at 46. So let's have a go at singing this bit at 46, nice and slowly. I think it's a really good way of doing this. It's really hard to sing this, as they say, cold. It's hard to sing it when you've not kind of had a run at it first. So let's just do it slowly through to make sure you kind of got the lay of the land. So I'm going to go 8 bars before 46, and this is in minims. It's quite fast. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, Licht in dem Aug mit Flügeln, die ich mir errungen werde, ich mit Flügeln, die ich mir errungen werde, and mit Flügeln, die ich, altos, mit Flügeln, die, second tenors, mit Flügeln, die, sopranos, mit Flügeln, die ich mir errungen werde, ich entschweben, werde ich entschweben, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, burn off. Very good, well done. Yeah, good to do it through at that speed. Sopranos, easy to sing the same thing as the second tenors. You see, the second tenors a couple of bars before you. Mit Flü, they sing a D and a G. We sing a C and a G. Mit Flü. So just sit a notch lower on that mit note. You're with the first tenors rather nicely in unison, and then you go into harmony. Great. Okay, let's try it once more at that speed, and then I think we'll be able to sing it through at full tilt when we do the real thing. Okay, so 8 bars before 46. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, schweben so liegt and mit Flügeln, die ich mir errungen, werde ich mit Flügeln, die ich mir errungen, werde tenors mit Flügeln, die ich altos mit Flügeln, die ich second tenors mit Flügeln, die ich sopranos mit Flügeln, die ich mir basses Schway, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, burn off. Well done. Isn't that an amazing moment? That chord followed by this chord. Talk about ranking up the tension. Finally. And you'll hear the horns here play this rising moment. Really good. Well done. Well, I think we've really got the hang of that passage now. You'll hear a lot of the French horns in this performance. They're one of Mahler's favourite instruments. They really kind of storm the heavens in this piece. Okay, 47. We can do 47. Who can't? It's just the most glorious moment. 1, 2. 1. Burn werd ich zu leben. Feel free to sing kind of mezzo forte. And sterben werd ich breathe zu leben. Off. And well done. Yeah, really, really good. Easy to kind of get overwhelmed by adrenaline in that moment. Remember, we all breathe just before zu leben. Literally, I think very emotionally at that moment, you take kind of one last breath and you think, wow, this is it, you know? I remember when I first performed this piece 5 years ago, I think, this is the moment where I all I had in my head was, oh my goodness, it's Mahler too. And you really think that. You think, oh my goodness, this is it. This is it. This is as good as it gets. So you really take a breath psychologically and in reality there in 707. Zu leben. Okay, let's go on 48. And let's just sing this through quite gently. Like I say, you don't want to kind of give it the beans yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Verstehen off. Ja. Plenty of breath. Wirst du mein, keep going ahead. Einem, nu, 2 and 3 and 4 off. Was du geschlagen off, really punchy. Was du geschlagen zu Gott, zu Gott, zu Gott wird es dicht, Ra, and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Great. Well done. Good to sing that. Good to practice that. Not at full tilt. Like I was doing there. Just kind of put yourself through the paces. You know, you can't just go for it every time. Otherwise, it'll stop being special. This is going to be amazing. I promise you. When we sing this through the orchestra, it's just going to be one hell of an experience. 720. One of my favourite moments. Was du geschlagen. That can be really fierce. You know, fierce in its kind of passion. You see these little hats on all the notes. Was du geschlagen. Really give it the beans. Because you really, you know, what you have suffered for. Was du geschlagen. And really, in the horns again, striving upwards. And then you strive upwards as well. Was du geschlagen. You say it twice. You know, it's one of the wonderful things about music is that it sounds less weird if we say things twice. It just sounds more emphatic. So really, you know, make it mean something at that moment. Because it really does. And then, zu Gott wird es dich tragen. Will carry you to God. Okay. Well, just take a couple of minutes. Get a glass of water. Kind of shake it all about. Make sure you're feeling nice and relaxed. And we'll sing this through. I'm not going to stop at all. This is the difference between this and the way we recorded it, is that we recorded it in sections. But now, the reason we're doing this dress rehearsal is to get used to what it feels like to sing this from beginning to end without a break, which is one of the kind of best experiences that I think anyone on this planet can have. So that's what this dress rehearsal's for. If you want to give it the beans, give it the beans. But I might suggest just 90%, just so that you save your 100% for Saturday. So we'll start from 31. And as you'll hear on Saturday, the passage before this, which there's a little kind of a glimpse of on this page of music, is this remarkable piece of music, extremely innovative, extremely unusual, a unique piece of music, whereby the whole movement, which has been so kind of, there's no real kind of word for it. You go through so many emotions in this movement, which has been going on for 20 minutes by this point. And then it all kind of dies down, evaporates even. And in the far distance, and Mahler writes, in the far distance, so usually the horns are played off stage, and you'll hear them playing as though they're off stage in this recording that we've made. The horns kind of play a call, very much like the last post that we play on Remembrance Day, and I think that's very significant. I think it's meant to evoke that kind of sense of a sort of memorial call, even though, of course, this actually predates it. And it's like the horn is on another side of an alpine valley, and then it's answered on the other side of the valley, on the other side of the stage. You hear it in your kind of other ear in the concert hall, and you'll hear this on your headphones. A trumpet kind of answers, and then you get trumpets on both sides, getting closer and closer, kind of announcing the judgment day. You know, this is the reckoning, the mighty reckoning. And then the last thing you'd expect, after all these brass instruments, what appears? A flute playing this ethereal, otherworldly, beautiful solo, evoking a bird song. Mahler had this belief that bird song was the last thing we hear before death. In the moment of death, he thought we heard bird song, as though you're kind of standing on top of an Alp, and you just hear in the far distance this bird. And the flute evokes this beautifully, and Ellie, our flautist, as you'll hear and see, just plays it in the most perfect way. And this music kind of echoes into the distance, literally. And then out of that silence, we appear. So that's your kind of stage setting. And you'll hear that on Saturday. I'm not going to play it to you now. We're going to go straight in at 31 now. But that is what is preparing at this moment. Okay, so headphones on. Like I say, I'm going to conduct you for this. So you won't hear pulsing in the piano like you're used to, but you will have me conducting. So here are your notes. Make sure you're nice and ready. Just hum it. Make sure you kind of got the note in your head. Okay. Oh. Okay. 3 and 4. I'm sorry to stop, as you can hear. I'm squeaking. Okay, we'll start again. Can you hear me all right now? I can hear myself. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to test the volume. So I hope that's okay. Okay. Can you tell me how that balances? Is that a good balance? Okay, I think My voice is too loud. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn me off so you can only hear this, and then we'll start again. Okay, we'll get there. Third time lucky. So I'm probably, maybe if I stand a bit away, I'm probably very loud now. But hopefully the music, if I play the music, good volume. Okay, so you can hear me and the music is a good volume, is it? Great. Okay, so same thing again, but this time hopefully it'll work. I'm gonna just unplug my mic while I do this so you can just hear the music, and we'll start from the beginning and we'll sing the whole thing through. This is why you have rehearsals. it would be ruining the fun to play you all the way to the end. So look forward to Saturday to hear what happens just after that. Well done. Massive well done. I'm saying this hoping you can hear me, but I've plugged back in my microphone. I hope I'm not too loud or too quiet. Sorry about the technical hiccup, but as ever, technology is sometimes our friend. I'm just lost for words at how amazing you sound in that recording. I hope you agree. I'm sure that recording a piece like this in isolation can be really daunting. And you think, does it sound good? It's never going to sound good, is it? Even the best singers will not sound very good singing this kind of music. As we hear, as a collective, you can still hear the music. Well, really, really well done. Great to have a dress rehearsal. And I have one last thing, which is to tell you about next year. Because next year we have 3 incredibly, incredibly exciting projects to build on this. Because as we've learnt from this, doing these big symphonic orchestral works so well with you guys. You're clearly really good at it, and this whole format for learning it is just so enriching. So given this year was Beethoven's 200th anniversary year, and sadly, because of everything that's happened, not many performances of his works, ironically, have happened. In fact, it's probably the year when the fewest Beethoven performances have ever happened for hundreds of years. So to kind of catch up on this year, we're going to start 2021 in January with Beethoven 9, the original choral symphony, the piece that inspired Mahler 2. We're going to do the finale of that amazing, amazing work, the Ode to Joy, which is just such a wonderful piece to sing. It's really in our kind of, I think, DNA as a planet, this piece. It's so important, sort of culturally and everything. It means so much to us. And particularly, I think, for 2021, I think we're going to need a bit of joy. So that is kicking us off. It will work in exactly the same way as the Mahler, really. It's kind of a similar length of piece, and so we're going to have a kind of similar schedule of putting it together in the same kind of format with my orchestra. The Orchestra for the Earth will be playing with you as well, and some more fantastic soloists. In the summer, to kind of build on that, if you think that's not enough, we've got the Missa Solemnis, Beethoven's greatest choral piece, perhaps Beethoven's greatest piece. He himself said it was his greatest piece, and many people agree. So we're going to sing that in the summer, the Missa Solemnis. It's one of the absolutely most transporting pieces you can imagine. It really is. That will be one hell of a journey. There's so much extraordinary music in there. And it's famously, it's a kind of a Goliath of a piece, and I think this gives us the opportunity to get inside it and under the skin of it in a way that you could never do in any other way. So I think that's going to be fantastic. And to kind of finish all of that off, in the autumn, I'm going to be running a course on one of the most underrated pieces of choral orchestral music, which is Delius's Mass of Life. Delius was really the most wonderful English composer, perhaps my favourite English composer of the 20th century, and this piece I know is a particular favourite of Mark's, and he's not wrong. It's a really glorious piece, the Mass of Life. I mean, the name kind of gives it away. It's just so rich and so deep and so beautiful. So if you don't know that one in particular, go and have a listen. But really, those 3 projects, I'm just so excited to be doing this with you. I think we found this to be such an amazing way of getting inside music. So we've got those 3 big pieces. Beethoven 9 finale starting in January. In the summer, the Missa Solemnis, and then the Delius Mass of Life. Nothing's going to clash with any of the other courses that Ben's doing or anything else. You'll be able to do as much as you like. They're all going to work really, really nicely. And like I say, with my orchestra playing that you've just heard, and some more wonderful soloists. I think it's all now live on the website. So go and check it out. Have a look. Get to know these pieces in advance, because really we've got a wonderful journey ahead of us. I hope you'll join me, because it's been such a pleasure doing this with you. I will see you all on Saturday, and I suspect a load more people as well who will be tuning in to listen to this. It's going to be one hell of a special way to kick off the weekend. So thank you. It's been a pleasure.